Hi everyone, welcome to the Ever-Seeking Empath. I'm a reader who uses tarot, oracle, and charms, and today's reading is Will Your Dreams Come True? So we've got a little bit of a fairy tale theme going on. I'm using a bunch of decks that have to do with fairies, fairy tales, mermaids. The tarot deck I'm using is actually this really awesome Disney-inspired deck that I got as a gift. So thank you so much to the person who got me those. You know who you are. Yeah, so we've got kind of a fairy tale theme going, and we're also using the fantasy story cubes today. So hopefully this will give you some ideas on if your dreams will come true. Before we get started, I want to remind everybody that this is a general reading, so not every message might resonate for you. So just take those messages that you feel are meant for you and your situation and disregard the rest. Also, if you enjoy this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so. It really does help the channel out, and then you get to see when I've posted new content. Thank you also so much to those of you who have already subscribed to my channel. I truly appreciate it. So we have 3 piles here today. Pile 1 is this potion bottle that looks like it's got some clouds, kind of the night sky here with the moon there. Pile 2 is this particular potion bottle that's got like the sea and some clouds up there. And then pile 3 looks like it's kind of heart-shaped and it's got this pinkish liquid in there. So yeah, just let your intuition guide you to a pile. And also these bags are by the Quirky Cup Collective. I'm not getting paid to promote her or anything. I just think her products are super cute. So I will link her and the Disney cards below in case anybody wants to check those out. But just let your intuition guide you to a pile. Take a deep breath, do whatever you need to do. And I'm going to put the timestamps for the piles in the description box and in the comments below. And we're going to get started right now with pile number 1. Hi, pile 1. So if you chose the potion bottle with the clouds and the moon in it, then this is your message. So we are going to start with your tarot and oracle and then do your dice and your charms at the end. So let's figure out if your dreams will come true. So for your tarot, you have the 2 of Wands, Decision, Achievement, King of Wands, Authority, Challenge, and 10 of Swords, Failure, Collapse. So the impression I get from your tarot cards alone is that you've probably run into some challenges in the past. Maybe you've just gotten past a big failure when it comes to trying to achieve whatever this goal of yours is. And I feel like maybe you're starting to lose hope that it's ever going to happen for you. But I do think that you have the choice to keep moving forward because the 2 of Wands has to do with decision. It does say achievement here also on this particular card. And with this being Cinderella and the fairy godmother, it's making me think of in the movie where she feels like all hope is lost, her dress has been destroyed, she doesn't get to go to the ball, that's when the fairy godmother appears. So I feel like that's the kind of moment that you're about to have, that you've got kind of, it makes me think of the star card in tarot as well, that just after this darkest time, now you've got this little spark of hope that things might turn out for you after all. And also 2 of Wands has to do with planning and moving forward as well. And then with the King of Wands, that's authority and challenge are the keywords that they have on this deck. But King of Wands also has to do with moving forward with confidence, you know, being confident in what you want to achieve, making a plan, and setting out to make it happen. So I do think that you have the power to achieve this, but in order to do so, you have to keep blazing forward. You know, you're going to run into failure over and over again, but the thing is you have to keep getting back up, but you will achieve your dreams if you keep pushing forward. So let's get your oracle cards. I want to see what they have to say. So you have Silver Sisters, time to take protection from toxic thoughts and energy, and that's number 9. So for me, this says don't dwell too long on your past failures, because I think everybody has to deal with failure at some point, and maybe this is just kind of the last straw for you, where you feel like maybe you had hope that something was actually happening, that you were getting really close to your dream, and then it just collapsed and it fell through at the last minute. So I think this is just saying try to not dwell too long on that. Avoid people who maybe bring you down and don't build you up. Like if you have people who are like, just quit, it's never going to happen, life won't get better, you can't do this. If you have anybody in your life like that, I think it's saying take a step back from them. I know a lot of people often have like toxic family members, and with this being Silver Sisters, I wonder if some of you have like toxic sisters who are saying this kind of stuff to you. But know that a lot of the time when people do stuff like that, that is them projecting their own experiences onto you. It has nothing to do with you or your abilities. So just take protection from those toxic energies so that you don't let that kind of stop you from moving forward. Because you also have the Wood Maiden, number 39, trust. So this is just saying to trust that things are going to turn out. Notice the sun is coming up behind her and kind of blazing through, and that always makes me think of like the dawn of a new day. Things are turning out well. I think if you trust that things will turn out and you keep pushing forward, things will turn out. But I do think it really is going to be influenced by your mindset, by your energy, and you just have to be very conscious of what you're giving most of your attention to. Is it going to be trust and faith that things will get better, or are you going to give more attention to, the mindset of not being able to do it, or nothing good ever happens to me, or that kind of thing? Our thoughts have power. That's basically what I'm trying to say. So you have Castle. It's time for healing, not war, number 30. So yeah, I think it's time to heal from whatever this failure was. It's not time to keep pushing back on whatever has kind of fallen through. It's not time to fight with people over it. It's time to just heal from whatever disappointments or disasters have occurred in your life. And then you also have Tree, let them go, which is number 18. So again, letting go of the past, letting go of past failures. I think maybe even letting go of toxic people, because it does seem like you have a lot to do with this kind of conflicting energy of, trusting yourself versus bringing yourself down. And I think that that is very much influenced by your environment and the people you spend time around. So just be very conscious of that. Make sure that you're putting your energy into healing yourself, building yourself back up, and release that you don't need anymore. Here you go, you've got new beginnings. The fairy godmother heralds the joyous news of a new baby or the birth of a cherished idea. Protect and nurture your ideas as you would a baby. So yeah, I think with that protecting, there's a lot of energy of like protection here, because the King of Wands can be very protective as well. But I think just protecting yourself, protecting your energy, and protecting your ideas and your dreams from people who might doubt you or try to sabotage you in some way. Just like nurture it, make it grow, because I think that is how it's going to build up to whatever you're wanting to achieve. I think that if you keep tearing it down, you would never do that to a baby or a child, like that's a really unhealthy way to try to parent. So I think this is saying just be as nurturing and kind as you would to a baby so that you can make that idea grow into something. Because I think a lot of you might be just feeling like you haven't been able to move forward, and that's really frustrating. But I think just focusing on nurturing it, making sure that you're not as fixated on the end goal, the outcome, but just doing what you can in the moment to really move that forward, I think is going to be key. You have Discovery, which is a number 8 intention card. So yeah, I think that's very much more Two of Wands energy as well, is that the Two of Wands has choices and is discovering new paths. So maybe you're on a new path that you didn't expect to go down. And so I feel like you're really trying to figure out, is this something I want? Is this something new? I think if you blaze forward, you will find new things, because this looks like this guy's been panning for gold and that he might have actually found some gold. So yeah, I feel like if you keep going, most of what you find when you're panning for gold is just crap, it's like dirt, and oftentimes like pyrite is in there, it's fake gold. So if you actually find real gold, you just have to keep working. It's like a numbers game. It's like trying to find a 4-leaf clover in a giant field, a lot of people can do it, but you really do have to put in the work, keep going and just trust that you will find one and not let doubt stop you from moving forward. You have choosing your path, all is possible. So yes, this is exactly what I was talking about, that everything is possible, but it's very much about choosing the path you want to go down, choosing your mindset about it. If you're going to have faith and trust that things will work out, if you're going to go in with positivity and, the mindset of, hey, the world is working with me, not against me, rather than going, oh, everything's against me, I'm cursed, nothing turns out right, that kind of mindset, that is going to influence the results that you achieve as well. So I think just trusting that you can do anything, that you've got all these options in front of you, but just knowing that your mindset will be influencing what happens. And everybody's going to, have those down times and down days. That's not really what I'm talking about when you're just feeling discouraged, but if you sit and wallow in that discouragement rather than getting yourself back up and moving forward again. So, yeah, this is all very motivational, that you've got the potential to move forward, but you do have to put in the work and the effort. You have courage, number 13. So, yeah, again, you need to have bravery and courage to move forward. I think that that's really important, and just trusting that even if you can't see the end result, if you don't know where the path is leading, to just jump in anyway. I think that that's going to be really important. And courage is very much Wands and energy as well, and you've got the King of Wands and the Two of Wands. And then you also have radiate, number 32. So yeah, that kind of brings me back to the mindset energy, because we have the sun in the background. So I feel like just radiating that positivity, allowing your true self to shine through rather than kind of adjusting how you come off according to what you think other people want you to look like, that kind of thing is going to be important. You have take time to breathe out, disseminating moon. So I think that that's saying just, give yourself some recovery time from whatever past failures or stumbles that you've been through. Just make sure that you give yourself some time to just breathe through it and, just give yourself a break, I think is what it's really saying. But, breaks can't last forever. So then once you feel more refreshed, then keep moving forward. And then you have you're very close to achieving your goal, gibbous moon. So yeah, I think that you are much closer to your goal than you realize, because a lot of the time it's like right before you achieve your goal is when you feel like giving up the most, because it seems like nothing will ever happen for you. You won't ever get there or whatever, but you're so close to it. You just need to push through that final stretch. You have corn dragon, friends. So yeah, this makes me think that you do need to be very conscious of who you allow to be around you. I think that you need to make sure that you're only allowing the people around you who are motivational and supportive and who build you up, rather than the people who are going to tear you down because of their own insecurities. I think that having a really good support system can make a huge difference for people. And then finally, you have transition. While I sleep, I move from the old to the new with great ease. So yeah, I think that this is really just signifying that you are in this transition time between, your past failure and recovering from that, and the final push through to the end. So to answer the question that I had initially set up in this reading, I would say yes, you will achieve your goal, but it is entirely dependent on your choices from here on out. If you are going to feel like you won't achieve your goal and you're going to kind of sit in that energy and stop trying, then no, you will not achieve your goal. But if you keep pushing through, keep moving forward, then you will achieve what you are setting out to do. So we are going to get your dice now. So I'm going to roll the 10-sided die to figure out how many story cubes to roll for you. So we got a 6. So I'm going to put 3 back in the box here. So group 1, will your dreams come true? Okay. So yeah. So first we've got this little cottage here, and that landed on the protect yourself from toxic energy card, the Silver Sisters. So I do feel like some of you have more of a toxic home environment, family members perhaps, that are not as supportive of your dreams as you would like them to be. So just make sure that you're building your own home base just kind of from your own perspective. You don't need to kind of trust in their word over your own. If you know that you want something and you know that you can work to achieve it, then trust that over somebody who's trying to discourage you. You have the trident here. So that I do feel like you've got some like kind of water energy helping you. It's interesting because you've got a lot of like fire as well, with like courage and radiate and all the wands cards and stuff, but with the trident there, that makes me think of Poseidon. So I feel like some of you just need to kind of trust in your own power. You might want to kind of look to the element of water to kind of help you like cleanse what you're like all the toxic energy from you and from your environment and such. You have Zeus here with the lightning bolt who's about to like smite anybody who says a bad word about him. So some of you might feel more connected to Zeus as well. But that kind of ties in with that King of Wands energy for me as well. Just the very determined, powerful, and to me those two together kind of make me think of just trusting in your own power. I think that that's really important for you. You have the fairy here as well, so I feel like you've got some fairy energy around you, just trusting in the new and fresh, and just try to embrace joy and hope and trust as well. You have the labyrinth here, so even though it might feel like you're never going to get out of here, trust that you will, because the one thing about like a labyrinth rather than a true maze is that you can get out of here. You know, it's you're not going to end up getting stuck. It's a winding path, but it's really one path. So if you keep pushing forward, you will make it to the exit eventually. And then you have the dragon. So again, more fire energy, determination, power, courage, you know, just being able to fight your own battles, trusting that even though it might be a hard road ahead, it will be worth it if this is something that you really want to do. So I think trusting in yourself, having courage, pushing forward, that's really the energy I'm getting. So let's get your charms now for your kind of final set of extra detail. And we are using the heart to figure out what's in the heart of the situation today. So group 1, will your dreams come true? Okay, and you just had one flying way out of there, so let's get that one. So the letter Z flew way out of there, and you also have the letter K here for your initials, and the letter C also. So those could be significant initials for something you want to do, a company name, people's names, you know, maybe a word will come to mind. But in the heart, we have Capricorn energy, so that's awesome. You might be a Capricorn, or people involved might be Capricorns as well, but this also just has to do with ambition. So I do think that whatever you're trying to achieve is very ambitious, and Capricorns are very hardworking. So I think as long as you work hard, you know, aim high, work hard, you will get there. You just have to keep pushing forward. You also have Taurus energy here, so more earth energy. So I do think that very grounded action and just, you know, keep moving forward step-by-step energy is significant. And you, again, might be a Taurus involved in this situation, or you might be a Taurus. The devil here initially landed in the heart before the Capricorn charm knocked it out. So that has to signify toxic energies, yet again, insecurities, feeling tied to a situation that you can get yourself out of, but it's just a lot about toxic things that are holding you back, where you feel like you can't move forward because of something that you just can't let go of. So I do think many of you are having trouble letting go of some past mistakes or just toxic people in your lives. You have life here. So I feel like just living your life is, I think, what a lot of you are wanting to do. I feel like many of you might even be in situations where you don't feel like you're living authentically, you're living somebody else's life rather than your own. You feel lifeless. You know, that's a lot of the energy I'm getting. But I think that moving towards this goal, even if it's not at the point that you've achieved it yet, but just the process of moving towards it is going to kind of reinfuse your life with more energy and more passion. You also have the number 2 here, so that might be significant as a date or like a lucky number, or you might be seeing repeated 2s in your life right now that are kind of a signal that you're on the right track. Also, the month of February might have been significant for you for this particular goal. Maybe that's when this failure happened. Maybe that's when you felt like you were moving forward, or when you decided to move towards this goal. So you also have will. So to me, that says, yes, you will achieve this goal if you keep moving forward, but I also think it's a matter of willpower and not just luck or chance in this situation. You have the sun coming out from behind the clouds, so again, more energy of things getting better. You just kind of have to hold on. The egg cup makes me think of how the egg hardens when it's put into hot water, so I think just make sure that you are strengthening yourself when you get put into hot water, but not to the point that you're, keeping your boundaries up. Allow yourself to have that vulnerability as well. Just don't get bitter about life. That's kind of what that is summed up to be. You have the little shovel here. So yeah, I think some things have to get buried, put things behind you, put your past failures behind you, past mistakes behind you, because your investments will be paying off. You have the squirrel here, and that has to do with investments paying off. So things will get better. Things that you've put work into will turn out, even if it's not initially in the way you expect, or it doesn't happen as quickly as you want it to. You have the drink here. So again, take a break. Treat yourself a little bit. Make sure that you're not just pushing with no break, because then you will burn out, and then it takes longer to kind of fully recover after that kind of thing happens. You have the sailboat here, so I feel like smoother sailing is ahead, and this also makes me think of how the boat is kind of at the whims of nature. Things seem stormy and horrifying for a while, that it feels like things will never get better, but eventually the storm will pass and it will be smooth sailing again. You have the ambulance here, so yeah, a lot of healing needs to happen. I think that you do have helpers around you, maybe people that you wouldn't expect to help you, but just make sure that you're going to them for assistance and not people who are going to bring you down or hurt you more. And then you have the horse's head here, so this is a terrible pun, but my brain just went unbridled ambition. So I think many of you do have something like this unbridled ambition that you just want to just cruise forward towards something. But I think you are in control of this situation is really what all of this is summing up to say, is that you have control over this. You don't have control over when an outcome might happen, but you have control over whether or not this will occur for you, because if you keep pushing forward, it will happen. If you give up, then it won't. So just keep that in mind. So group 1, I hope that this resonates. I would love to hear if it does, so please leave me a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like and subscribe to my channel if you've not already done so. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching. Hi, Pile 2. So if you chose the potion bottle with the C in it, then this is your message. So we're going to start with your tarot and oracle and then do your charms at the end. Oh, and your dice before your charms, obviously, this go round. So let's figure out if your dreams will come true. So for your tarot, you have the Ten of Wands, responsibility, burden. Ace of Cups, emotions, intuition. And the Emperor, authority and security. So I feel like you're burdened by a lot of responsibility and obligation right now, group 2, because you have the Ten of Wands and the Emperor. So obviously the Ten of Wands, the keywords on this card are responsibility and burden. The Ten of Wands often has to deal with just carrying too much. You have to put something down at some point, because otherwise it just gets to be a lot. You've taken on a lot of responsibility. You're very close to achieving your goal. You've actually gotten to like where you've been wanting to go, but it's just getting to be a lot. So I feel like you've achieved some sort of dream that you've wanted to move towards, but I think it's just getting to be too much for you right now, and it's standing in the way of some other dreams, or you feel like you can't achieve something else that you want to set out to do because you've got all these other responsibilities and obligations. With the Emperor, it says authority and security, but the Emperor is like the father of the major arcana. Also, he's very much an authority figure. He kind of relies on structure and more traditional routes of doing things. He's very organized, just very matter of fact. There's not a ton of emotion there, which is interesting because that contrasts very well with the Ace of Cups, which is emotions and intuition. The Ace of Cups is very flowing. It often has to deal with overflowing emotions, new love. So I do wonder if some of you have a lot of work responsibility, or maybe even children, that are making it difficult to move towards a dream that you have that would really emotionally fulfill you. But I want to see what your oracle cards have to say. So you have stolen in her sleep, unaware, unconscious, unawakened, number 15. So I think many of you have skills or hobbies, talents that you have not yet discovered. There are some things in your life that you're wanting to set out to see if you can do them. You want to achieve new things, but you haven't gotten the chance to do that yet. Maybe some of you are looking for a relationship or something and you've had that on hold for a long time, because I do feel like for many of you, you are parents, and it's just like I'm even seeing in the background like all the trolls or whatever. It's making me think of like when you have little kids and they're just kind of pulling on you constantly, like, hey, 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 I need attention, that they need something. And so I feel like you've just been burnt out because you've been having to take care of other responsibilities, but you haven't really gotten a moment to yourself to really figure out what you want or to move forward towards other dreams that you've had. Okay, so you have Dawn the Golden Haired, which is duty, number 40. So that's perfect, because that's exactly what I was talking about, that you have a sense of duty right now, that there are things you have to do, responsibilities that are weighing on you, things that you have to achieve, and it's standing in the way of some other things that you really want, and you can't give these things up, but you really don't want to give up on your dreams either. So maybe that's why you've sought out this tarot reading, is that you want to know, how can I do this? So I do think that a sense of balance is like coming to my mind, that you're going to have to find this sense of balance, just because there might have to be some responsibilities that you put down, some of these burdens you might have to put down if they're not as important. So I feel like prioritizing is going to be significant in this case, but I want to get more of your cards to see what they say. So you have Garden. Something lovely will grow from this, number 15. And that's the second number 15 you have, so that might be a significant number for some of you. So yeah, I think that something really great is going to come. Notice all these flowers are like drooping and stuff, so that's making me feel of maybe your mental state recently, that you've just been burnt out. I bet a lot of you have been very weighed down by the situation that's been going on in the world with the pandemic. So I feel like there's just a lot of things weighing on you, but notice this flower is growing anew, It's bright, it's healthy looking, so I feel like something really great is going to grow from this, but it just might take some time. But I think just trust that things will come up. You also have expectations. Don't seek anyone's approval, number 12. So I think maybe that's the burden that you have to put down, is seeking out somebody's approval on if you're doing a good job at what you're trying to achieve. Maybe some of you have taken on too much responsibility at work and you're really trying to impress your boss, or if some of you, this is if you're a parent, maybe some of you are kind of giving in to like the parental guilt, that you're feeling like you're not spending enough time with your kids or you're not doing enough for them. But keep in mind that you have to take care of yourself too. Self-care is very important. If you don't take care of yourself, then you will burn out and you will physically not be able to achieve the take care of the obligations that you have already. So just keep that in mind. You do have to take care of yourself, even just for maintenance of the things that you're already working on. You have fairy spotting. It's time to go fairy spotting. It's said that seeing is believing, but in fact the opposite is true. Believing is seeing. So I feel like, this kind of is making me think of that stolen in your sleep card, that, there's some unawareness here, that maybe you're looking for evidence that something is going to work out for you, but that's not necessarily how it's going to work in your situation. I think that you have to trust and believe that things are going to work out for you first, and then I think things are going to manifest for you. I think there's a lot going on kind of behind the scenes for you right now. I think there's a lot of stuff that you're unsure about, that you want things to happen, but I feel like maybe you're feeling like you don't have control over this other dream just because so much of your attention is directed elsewhere right now. But I think it's just saying keep believing, because things will happen regardless. You have True Love, which is a number 4 energy card. So a lot of you might be trying to manifest love. Maybe some of you are like single parents. I don't mean to like focus so much on the parent thing, but I feel like that's going to resonate for a lot of you. That you might be single parents and you're looking for love, or just the other responsibilities, work responsibilities, family responsibilities are getting in the way. And you're really wanting like a romantic relationship here. And this is saying that I think that can happen, but I do think this is really focused on the self, because notice she's looking in a mirror. Even though it says true love, there's not another person in this picture, it's just her looking at herself. So I think that the love of self has to come first. I think that you do have to devote a lot more time and care towards yourself. I think you have to take time for yourself, make sure that you're not allowing yourself to burn out. Don't push yourself to the point of exhaustion. Take breaks. Allow yourself just some personal time. So that's really important. So for those of you who are not looking for a romantic relationship, I do think that this just has to do with self-love, making sure that you're taking time for yourself and you're kind of feeding your own emotional energy as well. You have infinite abundance. Abundance is pouring into your life. So yeah, I think you've got a lot of abundance coming your way. Maybe some of you are very financially well off, and this is talking about your current circumstances, but you're just feeling like something is missing. And I think that's saying abundance is coming in for you, and it will continue to come in for you in different forms. But for most of you, I would guess that you're just looking for abundance in all its forms, that you've been working on something, and you just feel like you haven't gotten the results yet, or this is something that you just have to work really hard to maintain it. So I do think that this is just saying trust that abundance is going to come pouring into your life. You will achieve the results you want, and I think a lot of it is going to be way better than anything you could have imagined. I think you're going to get like a windfall of either money or love or just something that you're not going to expect, whatever is going to come into your life. You have meditation, number 27. So I think a lot of you, this goes with the self-care energy I was feeling, that you have to take some time for yourself, take a break, take a breather, just really get in touch with your own needs. I think that that's going to be significant for a lot of you, that many of you, I think, probably neglect your own needs in favor of other people who need you, whether that's work or family or whatever. And this is saying take a break, take time to reconnect with yourself, just kind of center yourself, center your thoughts. I think that that's really going to kind of shift your mindset on a lot of things, and it's going to help you feel like you can get through whatever else you have going on as well. You have hold your vision, fixed moon. So if there's something that you want, don't give up on it. I think this is saying just keep that in mind. Keep what you want in mind, and make sure that you're not giving up on that. Like if that's love, don't give up on love just because you don't have an opportunity to date right now, or just because you don't have any prospects coming your way, or if you've had a lot of bad luck, just don't give up on that. This is saying just keep going. You will be able to achieve that, but just keep that kind of in the back of your mind. Maybe that's why it's also suggesting meditation, is maybe you want to do some manifestation work, and meditating on whatever you want to bring into your life might kind of help you bring it about, or get into the mindset where you're trusting that it's coming to you a little bit more. And if some of you are wanting to kind of bring in like a different work situation or just something more emotionally fulfilling, or focus on yourself more, I do think, again, going in with the mindset of that, making sure that you are focusing on that you're not giving up on it just because you don't feel like you have the opportunity or the time for it right now. You have Peapod Dragon, organize. So the Emperor is very organized, so that makes sense that this would come out. So I think organize also is making me think again of prioritization. I think that you have to prioritize according to what's most important, what needs to happen, what you need. I think prioritizing your self-care is going to be important. Like make sure that you're prioritizing what you need in order to continue whatever responsibilities you need to take care of. Make sure that you are allowing yourself to recharge, build in time for that. I think scheduling might kind of help you out if you can actually get even a physical calendar, not just one that's electronic, in your hand, so that you can kind of sort things out and really just see it in front of you and sort things out that way. And then finally you have explore. I explore new horizons as I follow my passion. Now is the time to move forward. So I think that whatever you are wanting in your life is something that you've either never done before, or it's something that you haven't had in a long time. With true love also, maybe it is like something that you loved as a kid and you haven't done it in a long time, or, other responsibilities got in the way and you kind of, set that aside. Like maybe some of you might have a musical hobby that you haven't had the chance to do in a long time. And this is saying, try something new, infuse that sense of novelty into your life, and that's going to kind of help spark your passion again. If this has to do with like romance with dating, maybe get out on some dating apps or ask a friend to set you up or something like that. But I think this is saying, build that exploration into your life, because I think that that's going to help you feel more like you're moving towards your other goals as well. Even if you have limited time to handle them, I think that you need to make it a priority to build in time for other things that are not just your existing obligations and duties. So we're going to do your dice right now. So we're going to roll the 10-sided die to figure out how many dice we're going to roll for you. So you got 3. So we're going to put 6 back in the box. Okay. So group 2, will your dreams come true? All right. So yeah, with the flute here, that's making me think a lot of you might have a musical ability that you've been ignoring. I think a lot of you probably have like a creative endeavor that you've either wanted to explore, because the Ace of Cups has to do with creativity as well. But also I think there's just something that's felt like it's calling to you for a long time that you've really wanted to go after, because that flute makes me think of the Pied Piper. So yeah, just building in time to be able to explore these callings that you've been feeling and to just try some new things, explore new people and that kind of thing. You have the cottage here, so I feel like for a lot of you this has to do with your home life, that's where a lot of your duties are right now. So I think make sure that you're, again, prioritizing, kind of separate your kind of work life, whatever that means to you, even if your home life is part of your work life, and your personal life. Make personal time for yourself, find a home within yourself as well. So even if you like have kids and a lot of your time goes to them, make sure that you have kind of a home base away from your kids as well, to be able to take some time, just even if it's 5 minutes, to just recharge and refresh a little bit. And then you have the jester hat. So make room for fun in your life. I think that that's something that a lot of you are missing right now, just because when you have a lot of responsibilities, the stress builds and you just feel like fun is at the bottom of your list. But I think that that's going to be something that's important for your self-care, is make time to play, make time to laugh, make time to just do things that you've ignored for a long time. Just make time for joy in your life. So let's get your charms, kind of complete your reading here. We're using the heart today to figure out what's in the heart of the situation. So group 2, will your dreams come true? Okay. So in the heart here, you've got 3 charms. So the first, trying to get the hold of the star. So you got the star here. And it says, I love you, love you, love you, like all over it. It's really hard to see there. But yeah, I feel like a lot of you are wishing for love, or wishing for more love or appreciation in your life. Maybe, especially if you're parents, I feel like a lot of you don't get the appreciation that maybe you feel you're deserved, or, just for all the work that you've done, you don't get that appreciation. So if you're not getting it from outside sources, you need to find a way to create it within yourself, which is, I think, why we've got this woman doing yoga here. So yeah, take time for self-care, take time to just refresh, recharge. That's making me think of your meditation card as well. So just reconnecting with yourself and your sense of self, because I think a lot of the time when you devote so much of your time and energy to other responsibilities, things that you have to focus on, you can often lose your sense of self, just because so much of your identity is wrapped up in whatever those responsibilities might be. And then you have the sword as well. So I think cutting out what you don't need, what shouldn't be there, I think is going to help, because with this particular sword, it makes me think of aggression. So some of you might be burnt out to the point that you're snapping at people. You might be angry or resentful towards other people. So I think that that's why the self-care is going to be extremely significant for you. For initials here, we've got the letter G and we've got W. So those could be, there's the W. Those could be significant initials for you. Maybe it's your name or somebody else's name, or something that you want to do, a company name, a place name, or a word might come to mind for you. So we've got the little whisk broom here. So that just has to do with like dusting things up, cleaning things up. That makes me think of getting organized as well. Like your card was suggesting, to get organized, make sure that you kind of block out chunks of time for yourself and not just for the responsibilities that you've already taken on. The palm tree here says take a break, take a vacation if you can, but I think even just a mental vacation can do a lot. It can do wonders for your stress levels. You have the jug here, which is my charm for the phrase, you can't pour from an empty cup. So when you've got a lot going on or you're trying to help other people, make sure to fill up your cup first, because a lot of people use the oxygen mask comparison. Like you can't, you have to put on you can't put on somebody else's oxygen mask first. You have to put on your own mask first and then help someone else. But a lot of people, I think, still try to put on someone else's oxygen mask first because you have the capability of doing it. But that's why I like this particular phrase, is because you physically cannot pour from an empty cup. If you have an empty cup, you have nothing to give anybody else. So make sure that you're taking the time to refill your cup first, refill your emotional cup, practice that self-care. The little Cthulhu charm has to do with fear, fear often being bigger than the situation itself, fear taking over, just overwhelming fear. So I think that also has to do with overwhelming stress in this situation. And then you have the musical notes. So I do think music is going to come into play for a lot of you, that might be something that has been neglected in your life for a long time. For some of you, music might be part of your self-care, even if it's just listening to music or singing out loud or dancing or whatever, but that can come into play. But otherwise, just a creative endeavor of some sort for some self-care or a hobby you might want to try. You have the leaves here, so letting go of what doesn't serve you, allowing those dead leaves to drop off so that it can make way for the new. You've got the little bird here, so I feel like some short communication might come your way, either about an opportunity, maybe somebody's going to offer to help you a little bit, take some of the burdens off of your plate for right now. This could be like a message from somebody who wants to take you out on a date, something like that, but just some kind of short and quick communication might be coming your way. You have laugh. So yeah, that's kind of what I was saying with that jester hat. Make time for fun, make time for laughter. I think that's got some really major healing properties. Laughter is really good for you. So just make time in your life and room in your life for joy. You have the flower in the bubble here. So sometimes for me, this has to do with like putting people on a pedestal. So I feel like you might even be trying to put yourself on a pedestal in some ways, like the kind of cliched super mom or super dad, like the parent who doesn't need help with anything, who can do it all, that kind of thing. And I feel like there's no shame in asking for help, especially because I think a lot of people do not take enough time for self-care. And I think that in your case, you definitely need to make a lot more time for self-care and your own personal hobbies. So just make sure that you're not putting yourself at this unattainable, unachievable level, because even if it's attainable, you can't sustain it because you burn out. You have the person doing the splits here, so that represents split energy, so I think that you are trying to do too much at once, and that's burning you out. It might be painful. You've got the crescent moon here, so I do think that just kind of has to do with a sense of heaviness for me, but just things weighing on you, not knowing if things are ever going to get better. It's that unawakened energy that we had, so I think that you are kind of worrying that some things might not come to you. You can't see when things are going to come your way, so I think that's when you need to trust that things will happen. And then you have the Deathly Hallows. So to me, this has to do with kind of eternal life in a way. So I do think that you need to find ways to kind of keep rejuvenating and recharging. That's not usually like the way that I interpret that charm, but in your case, I think that that's important. And many of you might have some like eternal love coming to you if you're trying to manifest romance or a romantic partner or something. But otherwise, I think that that's saying you need to find ways to recharge because you are like the love of your life. There's, I think, a phrase, like a quote by somebody that says that you are the love of your life. So just make sure that you are devoting a lot more time and effort to taking care of yourself and loving yourself as well, because that's really important. So group 2, and I didn't answer your question. I'm thinking it's obvious, but yeah, I think that you will achieve your goals. I think you have to trust that things will happen for you, but I do think that taking care of yourself is going to prevent you from getting burnt out on the way there, because I think that this is something where you might give up on whatever you want to achieve just because you don't feel like you have time for it. So I think trusting and making sure that you take that time to either work towards that goal or to take care of yourself is going to be very important. So group 2, I hope this resonates. I would love to hear if it does, so please leave me a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching. Hi Pile 3. So if you chose the potion bottle that looks like a heart here with the pink liquid, then this is your message. So we're going to start with your tarot and oracle and then do your dice and then your charms at the end. So let's figure out if your dreams will come true, group 3. For your tarot, you have strength, power, courage, 6 of Wands, success, reward, King of Swords, discipline, power, and Queen of Cups, empathy, wisdom. So the biggest thing I'm noticing is that I think your question has already been answered, and that yes, your dreams will come true because you have the 6 of Wands, which even this particular card says success and reward, and because the genie is on it, that's making me think like your wish is granted also. So that's just kind of a double whammy, like yes, you will achieve your goals, but I want to get more details. So with the strength card, it might not happen as soon as you want it to. I think it's going to be a long road because strength has to do with endurance, inner strength, often kind of taming your like wild side. So if you're wanting to be impulsive and jump right into something and like push really hard, it's not going to happen. But I think consistent progress will be made if you just kind of take it step by step and just, you know, endure that long process that is often difficult to do. But notice, like, even though it's quick in the movie, Hercules has to build up his strength over time. You know, he doesn't just like inject himself with steroids and then instantly his muscles pop. You know, it takes training to get to that point. So I think that that's what this is saying. And then you have 2 court cards here. So you have the King of Swords and the Queen of Cups, which are very different energies. But I think in this case, they could represent people who might help you who have these particular qualities that they take on. But I think it's really multiple sides of yourself that are going to be needed for you to achieve this goal. So with the King of Swords, I think trusting in your own power is going to be significant. But the word that's really popping on this one is discipline. I think that you are going to need to employ a lot of discipline to achieve this, just consistent progress. Again, like we said, with strength. Making sure that you strategize how to go about this, that you're not just kind of flying by the seat of your pants to try to do this, you know, wing it or anything. I don't think that's the way to achieve your goal. I think your dreams will come true if you apply this discipline. But with Queen of Cups, with empathy and wisdom, I think kind of staying in touch with your intuition and being gentle with yourself is going to be very important as well. But I want to see what your oracle cards have to say. So you have the littlest fairy, appreciate the beauty and value of the exquisite and small, number 20. So I think, yeah, like with kind of needing to take things step by step and not rushing things, I think appreciating the everyday, being very present is going to be important, and also kind of celebrating your tiny achievements, you know, when you make a little bit of progress or you're noticing a change or you feel like you did something that you never would have done before, even if it seems small to other people. I think celebrating yourself for that is going to be important. I think that's going to help you see the kind of progress you're making as well. You have brother and sister, transformation, number 25. So yeah, I think this transformation is one that's going to happen over time. I think it's inevitable. Also with this story, the brother gets turned into a deer because he is not heeding the sister's warnings. So I think that that's kind of with this King of Swords, like very logical, rational energy. I think just being very, not necessarily cautious, but just very deliberate with your actions, I think is going to be significant. And then heeding your own intuition as well with the Queen of Cups is going to make sure that you achieve your goals, because I think if you ignore your intuition and you try to wing it instead of making a plan, then I think you might end up in some hot water. You know, if you're too foolhardy, I think that things are not going to turn out as well for you. You might still achieve your goals, but it'll kind of throw another obstacle in your way that you'll have to overcome before you can get to the end goal, you know, to achieve your dreams. But with transformation, I do think you just have to be patient with yourself, that this is going to be something that takes a long period of time to occur. I think that's why it's suggesting that you just appreciate the little things as you go, so that you kind of have things to sustain you along this long road. You have lavender, surround yourself with love, number 19. So yeah, I think surrounding yourself with people who support you, who love you. This to me is also with that, like appreciating the little things. Just enjoying your time with people, maybe talking about your dreams and goals with people might help, especially if you can find like a group of like-minded people who are all moving towards the same dream. I think sometimes it helps to even like commiserate a little bit with other people, as long as you don't kind of wallow in the negativity for too long, but to just share your trials and celebrate each other and that kind of thing. You know, even, it sounds weird, but like a support group for people who are trying to move towards the same dream. Like I know a lot of people get together with like different creatives to really kind of share in their joys and their sorrows, because it really does help you when you feel like most of the world doesn't understand what you're trying to achieve. I think that that is going to help you kind of build yourself back up when you feel a little bit lost or discouraged. You have believe in magic. Open your eyes and see the magic that's all around in nature. The fairy of the northern lights says that you are part of nature, so you are magical too. So I feel like this is saying believe in the magic that's around you and believe in your own magic, which is kind of funny because that's actually the name of this deck that I'm using here. But I think just believing in the magic of things happening, trusting that things are occurring even when you can't see them, is going to be important. That's actually been kind of a through line through all of these piles, is that trusting even when you can't see evidence is going to be significant. But I think that's why in your particular case, appreciating those little successes is going to be very important, because that'll kind of, again, keep you sustained while things aren't visible, you know. But I think just even indulging a little bit in some wishful thinking, or like some magic, like believing in like the magic of things coming true, you know, making wishes or really embracing manifestation or something might help to just infuse things with a little more magic. Some of you might even be into like witchcraft or spell work or something like that, that might kind of intrigue you to help you feel motivated and like boost that energy, so that you feel like maybe you'll be able to feel things changing before you even see the evidence of it. And then again, we got another transformation card, and this is a number 5 cycle card. So yeah, again, I think things are transforming, and this to me is less about your own personal transformation and more about the transformation of the world around you. Because look at this background, you know, we've got all this stuff going around here, and we've got this big web in the background. So I feel like this is saying that even when you're not seeing it, because she's facing us, she's not facing where all this transformation is occurring, but just, I think she's trusting that things are changing. She's kind of got the vibe of like the Queen of Swords to me. So again, like kind of relying on your logic, your inner wisdom to kind of trust that things are happening, knowing that your own personal power is enough to carry you through. I think that that's going to be significant, but I do think that this is just saying trust that things are changing around you even when you can't see it happening, because transformation is a long process. It's not like an instant fix. You have protected by angels. You are cherished by the angels. So yeah, I think you're getting some divine help, some divine protection. I think some of you might want to pray or like commune with your spirit guides or other gods and goddesses, or, you know, just any kind of spiritual help that you feel resonates with you the most. You might want to kind of go into that a little more, you know, rely on that. That might be kind of tied in with this believe in magic as well, to kind of help you feel like you're getting the help you need. And then you also have reaching your destination. Your light is shining brightly. So if we didn't have enough confirmation before that you are going to achieve your dreams, if your dreams will come true, this is like extra confirmation that you will reach your destination, even though it looks completely unattainable, because we've got this whole path here, and then this castle's like in a bubble, so it almost looks like it's just like the magic that no matter how far you walk on here, you're never going to reach it. But I think this is like, again, that kind of magic that's saying, hey, remember your goal. Keep that in mind. It's going to happen. Even if you can't see it happening, just keep walking. You're on the right path, that kind of thing. So I think that that's just extra motivation to say, trust in that. You have change, number 8. So, yeah, I think things are changing for you. I think that this, again, is reminding me change is a slow process. You know, most changes, especially good changes, are ones that take place over a long period of time. You know, this is not a tower moment where it's like your world is instantly shaken up and everything changes at once. This is a long process. This is a combination of you changing yourself, your behavior, your surroundings, with the world around you changing as well. So I think that it's that kind of dual process that's going to be occurring, and that's why it might feel really slow, and that's why I think it's just really important to keep checking in and celebrate those little victories, because that's going to remind you that change is happening even if you don't always see it. You have a new romantic cycle begins, new moon in Libra. So I think for many of you, you might be trying to manifest like a romantic love life. So I think that this is saying that either you're going to reignite kind of a relationship that you're already in, things are going to get better, or a new person's coming your way. And that might be part of what you're dreaming of, is maybe you want like the whole package. You know, you want like the fairy tale, because we've got with reaching your destination, it just makes me think of at the end of all the old like classic Disney movies, you know, they're walking towards the castle and then it kind of freeze frames and they zoom out and all the music's going. So maybe for a lot of you, that's kind of what you want, is that whole happily ever after. And this is part of that, is that new romantic cycle beginning. Some of you, I feel like, are already currently beginning this new romantic cycle, that things are kind of starting to spark a little bit with somebody. Maybe you just re-entered the dating scene on dating sites or something. But if the romantic aspect does not resonate, that's okay. It can also just have to do with like reconnecting with people, you know, because Libra is often about relationships. So again, surrounding yourself with love is going to be important. So I think this is just going to signify a more harmonious time in all of your relationships, romantic or not. You have Pepper Dragon, versatile. So I think just, yeah, being versatile, being flexible, I think is going to be important. I think this is maybe why it's important to rely on some of the people around you as well, as you might get some other people's ideas. If you feel like you're good at something and somebody else is good at something else, you know, you can kind of combine your powers and create something new that way. I think many of you are trying to work on yourselves as well to become more versatile, you know, like you emphasize your strengths, but you're really trying to work on your weaknesses as well so that you're more well-rounded. And I think that that's saying that that's a very good idea, because it'll help you be able to take on more and more unique challenges that way. And then you also have Squash Dragon, opinions. So with this, I feel like it's saying ignore the opinions of the people who are not supportive of you, but I'm not really seeing a lack of support here. I'm seeing a lot of support. So I think mostly this is saying trust in the opinions of people who love you. You know, when you feel doubtful about things, go to the people who are supportive, you know, who know you well enough to know that you can achieve things that you are setting out to achieve. If you feel stuck, maybe ask them what they think you should do. Maybe like run creative ideas by them, that kind of thing. But I think that just allowing other people's opinions to kind of help boost you is going to be helpful, especially with this combined with versatile. I think having other perspectives is going to help you not stay too close to the situation where things get like really difficult just because you can't see outside of like tunnel vision that you've got on like eye on the prize kind of thing, that you'll be able to see a little bit more of a broad perspective and you won't be feeling as discouraged after that. And then finally, you have Divine Dream. I am divinely guided. My intuition shows me the way through my dreaming world. So some of you might be actually dreaming about this situation, but also I think that a lot of you just really need to rely on your intuition and know that when you feel like something's changing but you don't see any evidence, something is changing. You know, just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not happening. I think just relying on your own inner wisdom is important, knowing that you are protected by some spiritual help. You definitely have a lot of guidance and support around you. But overall, I think that this pile so far is the most like cut and dry. Like this is the most sure that yes, you will achieve your dreams. Your dreams will come true. You will achieve your goals. So I want to get your dice now. So we're going to roll the 10-sided die to figure out how many story cubes we're rolling. So you got 2, so that's not a ton of cubes, but I don't really want to roll so many that, some of them might not have messages for you, so we're just going to do 2. So we're putting 7 of them away. All right, so group 3, will your dreams come true? All right, so you've got the crown here, and that landed up by the 2 court cards and this transformation card that made me think of the Queen of Swords. So this just makes me think of having sovereignty over your own life, trusting in your own power is the biggest thing, treating yourself like the powerful being that you are and trusting that your own inner knowing is accurate. I think a lot of you might feel very confident in yourself until you're not seeing evidence of it around you, and then you start to doubt. So I think this is just saying, it's reminding you to trust in that even when things around you don't seem to support that understanding. Just trust your own inner knowing above all else. And then you have the person with the little spiral eyes, so that makes me think of just like feeling dizzy. Some of you might be kind of having not dissociative moments, but you might just kind of have moments where you feel like life doesn't feel real, or I feel like some of you are kind of just feeling not necessarily overwhelmed, but things are just feeling off, like things don't feel real. It feels like you're in a dream, that kind of thing. And I think that's when it's important to ground, reconnect with those little things, stay present, because I feel like a lot of you kind of get caught up in the wishing and the dreaming, and you have a hard time staying present. So this is just saying, try to stay present. I think that when things change, you're going to be kind of shocked and awed by it. I think it's going to kind of throw you off. You're going to have like the stars in your eyes. It's going to make you a bit dizzy, that kind of thing. But I feel like part of why this is happening is because whatever dream is coming true for you is something really, really great. So it just feels not real. It feels totally surreal when it happens. So even the steps along the way might kind of feel surreal as well. So just try to stay grounded. I think that that's why it is recommending that you talk to people you love and get their own opinions and stuff, because I think sometimes you have a hard time trusting your own inner wisdom when you just get thrown off or dizzy or things start to happen and it just feels weird. So just stay grounded, talk to people you love. I'm going to get your charms now. So let's get some more info. This is kind of the last of the details we need for you, and we're using the heart to figure out what's in the heart of the situation today. So group 3, will your dreams come true? So in the heart, we have Emma, which is a book by Jane Austen, and we also have The Flying Bird. So some of you might be getting some messages in the book Emma. Some of you, actually, your name might be Emma as well. That one always makes me think like somebody named Emma is watching this. But also, there might be some messages from the story Emma that are coming true. Emma kind of enjoys matchmaking for her friends. So I feel like some of you, there might be some matchmaking going on. I feel like there are at least a few of you who are wanting love or romance, and that's something that's kind of coming up for you. So you're trying to figure out how to get the person you want, or how to kind of spark a new relationship, that kind of thing. But otherwise, I feel like that's also representing like an actual, like just a book, like your own like story, your own happily ever after, even though like Jane Austen characters have so many obstacles that they have to overcome before the ending. There's a happy ending, the ending is happy. They get with the person that they want, even if it's not initially who they thought they wanted, that kind of thing. So I think that's also just reassurance that even if you don't see any evidence happening, it takes a while. You have to overcome a lot of obstacles. Things have to happen for an entire, story's length before you can get the results that you want and that your dreams can come true. And then with the bird, that makes me think communication is coming in. Things might start moving a little faster, but I do think for many of you, a loved one is going to communicate something important to you. So just kind of keep an eye or an ear out that some things might change kind of quickly because of that. I feel like you might have some kind of spurts of change happening for you that are coming in quite soon. For your letters here, you have D and you have I. So those could be significant letters for you. Those could be initials for like a person that's coming in. Those could be your name. a company name, a word might come to mind, but I'm also seeing like ID. So I wonder if some of you are trying to figure out like who's coming into your life or like who you should be talking to. So just, again, that's a time I think to use your inner wisdom. And also if any of these charms are resonating extra with you, that might be kind of a signal that it's gonna, somebody might come to mind with some of these, and that might be a sign that that person will talk to you or you should reach out to that person. I'm seeing the angel here. So again, you're protected by angels. You have a lot of divine protection around you. We have the word want here, so I think that you really want something. I think that there's a lot of stuff that you want, and I think that there's a lot of like passion and not yearning, but that's the feeling I'm getting, is that there's a very like not quite desperate wanting, but there's just a very passionate want. Your wishes are very intense for you. I think that a lot of you are wanting to create the life you want, and many of you might be creatives as well, that's something that you're wanting, is to be able to maybe make a living doing your creative work, or to be more creative to get like the right project going. You have Cupid over here. So yeah, again, a lot of you might be looking for a romantic relationship. Some of you might even be kind of looking to like romantic movies or novels for inspiration, because we do have the book here as well. I know we had Emma in the heart, but I think many of you are kind of looking to like fairy tale elements to actually give you some reassurance and to like for comfort as well. I think a lot of you are getting caught up in that sense of magic, which is great. If that can help you kind of manifest, it can get you in the right mindset to really manifest what you want. But just make sure that you're kind of moving towards it with work and discipline as well. You have the magic lamp, so that's kind of more emphasis on that genie card that was the Six of Wands. So success, just signifying your wishes will come true. So we've got so many. I don't think that there's any doubt for your group that your wishes and your dreams will come true, because you've gotten so many things. I know we have the word no here, but I think this one always makes me think of like a sarcastic no. Like this is you being like, no, like this can't happen. This won't happen. It's more your self-doubt rather than an answer. I think just finding a sense of tranquility is going to be important, finding peace in nature or in like beauty out in the world. I think you feel like you stand out because we've got the black flamingo there. You might be seeing some signs and synchronicities with the feather. That's my sign for that. You do have the solution though. I think that a lot of you are feeling like you don't know what to do, but you have the solution right in front of you with the key. Slow and steady wins the race. You might just have to go with the flow and not try to kind of micromanage what else is going on. I think you might have some fears coming up, but just trust that those fears will kind of go away in the light of day as well. Believing in magic with this reindeer, that always makes me think of like children believing in flying reindeer. So believing in magic, trusting that things can happen for you. I think many of you, there's just this long transformation period, because with this skull that makes me think of death, the death card in tarot is transformation. It's change over a long period of time, and that's very much what is going on in your pile. And then you've got the little bell here. So that makes me think of like notifications, something trying to get your attention kind of quietly. So usually for me, it's either like spirit guides trying to get your attention, signs and synchronicities, but most likely it's your intuition. It's that quiet voice in the back. It's not the loud shouting voice that's telling you can't do something. It's very quiet. It's just a nudge. So just trust in that over the fears. So I think that that's really what your pile is saying, is that your wishes will come true. Just try not to rush it too much. Appreciate the small things, the little achievements along the way, and you will get there. I don't think there's any doubt. So group 3, I hope that this resonated. I would love to hear if it does, so please leave me a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching.